Well, welcome to Focus Today. I'm your host, Perry Atkinson, and well, today is a different day. In fact, the next 3 days will be considerably different. Here at Focus Today, we are asking you to prayerfully consider supporting the Dove, and this is day one of our annual Spring Share-a-thon. And actually, we've been talking about it, as you know, for quite some time, several weeks now, as the Dove is preparing to move into a permanent home. After 30 years of renting, the Dove has been given a gift from God and an opportunity to own its own building and move in and begin to do even more what God has called us to do, from creating new television programming, radio programming, digital media, all of those platforms. Why do we do this? Why do we do this? Because the Lord called us to be involved in media. And it's an interesting time to be involved in media. There's a lot of statistics out there, but there is a lot of people who get their daily spiritual enrichment from one media platform or another. Now, this is not to take the place of your church by any means, but the Christian broadcasting and Christian media is to augment what the church is doing. And we can't do it any other way without your support. Over 80% of our income is from viewers and listeners just like you. And if you weren't there faithfully month in and month out, and during these special times of the year, we literally couldn't do what we do. It would be impossible. We don't have any big underwriters or anything like that. We just ask the Lord to faithfully move on the hearts of people to support the Dove. And we do this twice a year, once in the spring and once in the fall. Well, the phones are ringing, as you can hear that, Paulina, and you've got some folks. Well, wait a second, we got to get a cameraman in here to help you. We'll do that in just a minute. Well, the phones are ringing. The phone number is 776-5368. That's the phone number, 776-5368. And if you feel led of the Lord to support the Dove, you can call that number, and you can make a monthly pledge or a one-time pledge, whatever the Lord is leading you to do. I only ask two things when you support the Dove. One, that God is clearly calling you to do it, and two, it's a joy for you to do it. And I've also said, and I mean this sincerely, don't take from your church, and don't take from any other Christian ministry that the Lord has you involved in. Your support goes there first. But if the Lord's called you to be a part of what we're doing here through Christian media, through the Dove, through radio and television, internet, all the other tablets and phones and digital devices, then pray about what the Lord would have you to do and call us. Again, the number is 541-776-5368, or you can go online at thedove.us. Now, in just a moment, we're going to Skype in from our new building, give you a little bit of an idea what it looks like on the inside long before we ever do any work in there. But Paulina, the phones have been ringing this morning, and you have been, look, we got what, 2 lines available right now?
We have 2 lines available. No, we got 3 lines available.
Okay.
We have somebody else out there answering your calls. Good morning. I want to thank Laura and Mika. Both contributed $50 to our move. And another $50 gift just came from Judy. So thank you so much. And I mentioned earlier I was going to read some testimonies from people who just joined the team. And here I have a couple of names. First one is Barbara. And she says she just recently became a listener, really loves the Dove, says it's a blessing to have us, and it helps her grow in the Lord. And then there was another one, Paul, I think you took that call from Sherman, and he found the Dove radio and TV about 6 months ago and has been a listener since then and loves it as well, and also became now part through helping us financially. So I just want to say welcome to the team, and we really do appreciate your support. So if you just join, you probably haven't experienced all of our blessings here, but like Pierre mentioned, once we moved into the building, you'll be invited. We'll have an open house. We'll show you what it's like to be making what you're seeing and what you're hearing, and you'll see where your money goes, because it's really because of you that we're able to do what we do.
Well, the best way I can tell you that we've been challenged to take this whole thing on is piece by piece. Steve Johnson reminds me the best way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time. So what we've been doing over the last several weeks, actually, has been mapping out how we're going to physically move a broadcast operation from one building to another. And it's no easy task, believe me. It's very, very technical. So we started mapping it out, and we're looking at the facility that God has provided and how we're going to do this, what's the most efficient way to do this. And how can we do this and not spend money twice, as you can imagine? So we've been looking at it in stages, and what we've been asking you to help us do over the last several weeks is buy pieces of equipment that need to be in place long before we ever physically move the radio and television station. And a lot of that already now has happened. In fact, a lot of that equipment is sitting on the floor in various places around the building here, ready to be installed. And starting next week, we will be taking stages and doing specific pieces of work by installing some of that equipment, putting up the tower for the microwave tower for the radio station. We'll be purchasing the lighting grid so we can get the lighting grid in place for the television studio, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. A lot of things going on with all of that. And folks, it's really been humbling to watch people call, go online, come on by, and take ownership in what's happening with the Dove's new facility. And the facility is nothing more than an incredible tool that God's made available for us to do more in what God's called us to do. And part of that, it's my heart, is to teach the next generation everything that we do here at the Dove. Radio, television, internet, social media, and the new building becomes a tool for us to do that. And it's exciting to see young people come in here and get hooked on what we do. Our goal is that maybe they'll go into the industry. Maybe they'll go into secular radio and television and be trained in a Christian environment and go in there and be a light into those places. Maybe even in some of the national networks, who knows? Or at least go back in their church, maybe become the media director of their church. As you know, media now is the tool to reach a lot of people at once. And that's what's happening. I don't know how many thousands of people are listening or watching right now, but literally every hour, thousands of people are being impacted by the programming that is provided through the Dove. And so when you become a team member, you're helping us do that. So we're going to go out there in a minute. I don't know if Bruce is ready. We've got him hooked up yet. Have we heard anything about Bruce? There's no Bruce yet. Okay, we'll get that in just a moment. But one of the items that one of the big items between now and Thursday at 6 o'clock, we would like to be able to purchase, and it's a big item. It's $40,000. Whoa. No, it's not a car. It is what they call an HD switcher. An HD switcher is strictly for the television side. Everything that you've helped us purchase for the television remains in place. We are totally digital. Now we need to upgrade to what they call HD. That's high definition. Why do we do that? Well, first of all, that's where the industry is going. Two, the quality of what you'll be watching just skyrockets. It's just top drawer. Three, if we're going to train students, they have to be trained in HD. It's just the way the industry is going. Four, once we get HD in place, it will help our negotiations with the satellite companies like Dish and Direct. They've been looking seriously about adding us, and we've been trying hard. We've been banging on that door now for 4 years. And one of the last pieces of the puzzle is to be HD, high definition. At that point, all the excuses go away. I think they'll feel the pressure to put the Dove on Dish and Direct, and then other cable companies will add us once we're HD. So it's a strategic part. The reason we want to do it now is if we can put HD in the building before we move over there, that will probably help us in not losing one moment of airtime. That way we could actually be up and running over there and move the programming over there and not lose any airtime. So it's a big item. Yes, it's expensive. It is, I'll admit to you, it's top of the line. And the reason I felt led to do that is because we don't want to come back and buy bits and pieces down the road. Let's put the best in now and have it up and running, and it'll serve the Dove and its viewers and the students for years and years to come. So if you'd like to give towards that, boy, now is the time to call. The phone number is 776-5368. The phone number is 776-5368. I'm trying to see where we are with the totals there. We're down to $90,000. So $90,000 is between now and Thursday. So we're doing pretty well with that. $40,000 of that figure is this one item.
That is possible. And I do want to mention a couple of people that I haven't mentioned yet. Susan has donated $200, and she just said to whatever you need next. So thank you, Susan. Now we're using your $200. And then Tipton called and pledged $1,000. So now we're $1,200 less for the $40,000 HD switcher.
Well, folks, I don't want to bore you with the technical things. Our team in the other room jumps up and down and goes, yeah, we need this. Well, so we do, but it just takes a little bit at a time to get it done. So pray about that. You could do maybe a one-time gift towards that. By the way, if you want to do it monthly, that's terrific. Just go online or call us. The phone number, so look at our three ladies here that are waiting to take your phone call. The phone number is 776-5368. 776-5368, or you can go online at theDove.us and you can support us there. Now, coming up next, we're going to have one of the folks that is a regular on the Dove. And the impact of this gentleman being on the air is phenomenal. I mean, not only within our own backyard, but literally all over the country. And his name is Patrick Doyle. There he is standing in the wings of our big room here, of our 4x4 room. And do you have a picture of him? Can you get him on there? Is it too dark for him to be seen? But anyway, we're going to have Patrick come on. He's going to share with us some of the people that have responded to him. And we'll talk to him about that coming up next. Here's the phone number, 776-5368, 776-5368, or online at theDove.us. We'll be right back.
You can call the Dove right now at 541-776-5368 or make a secure online donation at our website at theDove.us. Again, the phone number is 541-776-5368. Thanks for your support.
Hi, I'm Paulina and I work at the Dove TV. Did you know that when you support the Dove TV, you have a profound impact, not only in our community, but around the world? It's your continued support that takes the inspiration and hope in the programs we produce and makes them available to the thousands of people who are watching these videos online every week. Help bring encouragement and hope to our valley and beyond by making a secure online donation today at our website, theDove.us.
Okay, we're back, and on this first day of our Spring Share-a-thon, we're asking you to prayerfully consider supporting the Dove, and the number is 776-5368. In fact, we have three ladies right now here in the studio taking phone calls, and all three of them are not busy. So here's the deal, 776-5368, and if the Lord's leading you to support the Dove, whether on a monthly basis or a one-time gift, let's call right now and let's get the phones ringing, okay? 776-5368. Now, part of our vision is to increase the programming content development here at the Dove, and that's why we're moving into this new facility. We just need the room to do more programming. And one of the people that has really sparked an incredible response every time he's on the air is Patrick Doyle. Patrick Doyle with Veritas Counseling. And how long have you been doing this with me now?
I'm thinking 10, 11 years maybe.
Has it been that long?
Well, you were in
Alder Creek.
Alder Creek.
Yeah.
Well, the first time we argued.
I
mean, the first time we talked.
I told him I didn't want another psychobabble on the air. I'd had enough of that.
Yeah, and I was in total agreement with you.
Anyway, gifted of the Lord and impacting lives literally all over the world. You're getting emails from where?
Well, the first one I want to talk about is from Kenya.
Kenya.
Yeah, so, you know, one of the things I want to try to communicate to the folks listening is that, listen, there is a very real, tangible effect of what they support here in terms of people's lives being transformed. It's not just hearsay.
Yeah.
I mean, I am getting a lot of feedback from all the videos online, from people streaming this stuff, all of the platforms that you've built. I mean, we've been doing the radio for how many years? A long time.
Yeah.
And then when we started doing TV, and the streaming of the TV and the YouTube and all of that platform hit.
Yeah.
The response that I started to get went way up.
Well, let me tell you, folks. Last month, we had 64,000 YouTube views. 64,000. The month before that, it was 55,000, and the month before that, in January, it was 67,000. Now, that's from all over the world, people going to the Dove website, bringing up the YouTube, and a lot of those, they're bringing up of you being on the air.
Yeah. So the first one I want to just tell you about, this is just an example. This person writes, I'm a lecturer in an institution. Lately, I've been encountering students who are battling the problem of addiction. There's no reliable counseling center on campus and nearby in our rural area of our institution here in Kenya.
Wow. Wow.
I have been studying and praying with them. They have built confidence in me over time, but still lapse back occasionally, calling for more knowledge on how to handle them. In my search, I found Patrick Doyle's videos on addictions on the web yesterday.
Wow. It
was a great eye-opener on dealing with addictions. I wish your organization was nearby. What can I do to help these desperate young people?
Wow. Wow.
So here's a guy who's in a position of lecturing people in an institution in Kenya. And he found the stuff that you guys have put up on the web of our interviews about addiction, and he's being helped, and he's asking for more help.
There you go. One of our dreams here, for me, he probably doesn't know this yet. I want to do two types of shows with Patrick. One, I want to do a series that can be syndicated. And the way by moving into the new facility, we'll have the room to do that. And we'll take 13 weeks. That's how you do that in television. You do 13-week series. I want to do a 13-week series with Patrick, maybe on addiction.
Sure.
And then syndicate it on other networks.
Awesome.
Okay. The other thing I want to do with Patrick is when he is on the air with us, we have a live audience.
Ooh, that would be awesome.
And there'll be people in the audience that we can go to with questions and stuff like
awesome.
that. So your phone call and your support to make that happen is vital.
Right.
And if you want to help us, the phone number is 776-5368. We have two phones available here that are still not being used. So here's the number, 776-5368. That's area code 541. Or if it's easier for you, just go online at theDove.us. You'll see the buttons at the top. You got another one?
Yeah. So in addition to supporting, the equipment is necessary to do what we're talking about, but the end result is things like this. I recently heard you talking about an emotional abuse on the Dove, which after 36 years of marriage and always trying to be nice, I find myself in a state of serious burnout, where some days I can only go hour by hour. It has forced me to take a look at my whole life of abuse in a Christian context, which you explained so well. Thank you. You make such sense. I've also found your website archives helpful as well. And she says, when I get my thoughts together, I'd like to write you. But this woman she says, I've also been listening to the Dove Radio live streaming here in Australia.
Wow.
And wondering if you ever do a regular program time on the station.
There you go. See, that's confirmation what I just told you.
Exactly.
I want to have Patrick have his own show on a weekly basis, both radio and television, and there's confirmation of that. And you know what's so interesting about that is that, how can I say this? I have never seen the increase of need, the need for help, I should say, and encouragement, like I've witnessed today. Our phone calls here at the studios and the stations week in and week out are just unbelievable. I send a lot of them to Patrick. You can't handle them all.
No. And I'm working at developing more and more people to help, but it takes time.
Now, the other thing is, if by putting him on a regular program, you can reach thousands at once.
Yes.
If he's locked into a room, one-on-one counseling, he can only do 8 or 9 a day.
That's true.
And then he goes home and he has to hit his head against the wall. But by putting him on radio or television, you reach thousands at once. And that's what we want to do.
All over the world. Because the thing about the internet and the YouTube situation is that this stuff's there all the time.
Yeah.
So somebody at 3 in the morning when they can't sleep and they find it helps. There's another one in here that's I don't know if we'll get to it, but one person wrote how it was with God's perfect timing. Here it is. This weekend, I had the opportunity to learn about you as a Christian counselor, watching 2 episodes having direct relevance in my life right now.
Wow.
So they found it on the Dove website or on YouTube, and they were saying about emotional abuse and setting boundaries. And they go on for a whole long area here about all of the difficulty in their life. And obviously I won't get into all the details, but the fact is that at that moment of crisis, the Dove was used to bring some hope and to keep them off the ledge, which as they described in their email.
Where was that from?
That was from Portland.
Portland. There you go. Just north. Okay.
Yes. So this is another one. Hi, thank you for your videos. It has been such a great help. I'm 35 years old, adult child of a dysfunctional family. My father was addicted to alcohol. He died 2 years ago. Since childhood, I've had to take care of my mother's emotional needs. I could read the whole thing, but you get the picture. So these are not people who are probably going to find themselves in church. This is one of the other common themes that I've heard overall, and this is just a handful.
And where is that one from?
This one's from the Midwest somewhere.
Okay.
So this is just a handful of the emails I get. And I think it's wonderful that they're emailing me,
right,
because I'm able to email them back, and I have some assistance with that, and I'm developing some ways to communicate with those people. In fact, today I have a phone consultation with a woman from Miami who saw me on the Dove, blah, 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 blah. Now she's going to do some over the phone Skype counseling with me.
Wow.
So, I mean, the reach of the Dove in terms of practical help is unique, I think, with the content that you're producing.
Wow.
You know, and as we move forward with the new facility, the ability to produce content that actually like directly meets those needs and provides a forum for that, man, I mean, how could you spend your money any better?
Well, folks, let me put it this way. I said earlier, and I think what Patrick is sharing with us here confirms it. A third of our audience are pretty solid believers. You know, they're involved in church. They're regular.
Yeah.
Another third of our audience, radio and television, are, for whatever reason, they can't get out the church.
Yep.
Or they've been damaged by the church.
Yep.
And maybe you can speak to that, because you get a lot of that.
I do.
Or they're physically, they can't get out. Relationally, with family dynamics, they can't get out. Their only spiritual connection is through media.
Yep.
And the other third are seekers. Now, how do you just find a YouTube in Miami? How do you just find a YouTube video in Australia and one down in Kenya?
Yeah.
That's a God appointment. That goes back to Romans 10:20.
Yeah.
I was found by those who were seeking me,
right,
and I manifested myself to those who didn't ask.
Right.
That's the key scripture of what God is doing with the Dove. Now, folks, these phones are quiet. They need to be busy. We are at, where's my totals here? We're at $85,000 to go between now and Thursday. Anything that the Lord's leading you to do. I only ask two things, and Patrick knows this.
Yep.
Number one, that the Lord's leading you to do it. Two, it's a joy for you to do it. Don't take from your church, and don't take from any other Christian ministry you're involved in. Your support goes there first. But if God's calling you to partner with the Dove, you just pick up the phone and dial 776-5368. Because can you imagine, Patrick? I mean, 80% of what we do is paid for by those who watch and listen.
I know. And I just want to impress on people that, you know, this is not just a radio TV station. That's definitely one of the things that you do. But ultimately, I've known all along, Perry, that the truth be told, if we really pulled it all back, what you have at the core of you is a pastor. You're a pastor at heart. You love people, you want to help, and that's what's happening. And that's why we're putting all this energy into building this, is because at the tip of the spear are hurting people, are people who need to know the gospel, are people who need to understand who God is in a deeper way. And that's what I see happening over and over and over again with the feedback I get. I see it in my office on a daily basis, people who have been impacted by the Dove in a positive way. And then I get the privilege of working with them on a deep level.
Right.
But much of that is the result of what they've seen here. And so I want people to understand that supporting this is supporting the gospel. It's not supporting a TV radio ministry.
Right.
That's just the means.
That's just a tool.
Yeah.
That's
and
just
so
a tool
it's very important, particularly in the culture we live in.
Well, and that's where we are today, folks. So listen, we're still asking, we need help of one of the big items that we're trying to raise funds for. How do I say this without sounding like a geek?
We need a big piece of equipment.
Well, it's got all these lights and switches on it, and it does this. That's kind of the layman's term, right? It's a switcher.
It does stuff I can't explain to you. We just need it.
All I know is that if you push the right button, it'll kiss you goodnight. This thing's pretty interesting. It's not a desire. It's it's a definite thing we have to do. We have to upgrade to HD. And by doing that, we solve a lot of problems. One of the big things that we do is it helps us. If we can put that in place before we move, believe me, one of our goals is when we pull the trigger and start moving, that we don't lose any airtime. Having that in place is a big. That item is $40 grand. That's a big item. I realize that. I don't take it lightly, but all this equipment is expensive. If you'd like to help us towards that, maybe you can do $50 towards that, $25 that, and you do 100. Maybe you can do 1,000. Maybe you can do 5,000 towards. That's between you and the Lord. But we need you to call. We need to light up these phones right now. Here's the phone number, 776-5368. Our three lovely ladies are going to go to eating muffins, and they don't want to do that. They would rather have the phone ring, 776-5368, or online at theDove.us. And do this in appreciation of Patrick Doyle. I'm not trying to capitalize on you, but by having there, thank you for that phone call. That means we got 3 other lines available, 776-5368. Having Patrick on the air relieves me of a lot of phone calls. You know, I was buried with counseling.
I know.
And I just can't handle it. And I'm not trained. That's not my... I may have a pastor's heart, but I have limits. I'm going to start a new counseling ministry. It's called Get a Grip. Get over it. Look, it's serious stuff. It's serious. I mean, it is really, people are hurting.
Yeah.
I wish you could get some of the phone calls we had here, or read some of the letters of people who are shut in. You know what? I'll do 2 or 3 funerals a year of somebody where the church has forgotten them, and their only connection to Christianity is through media, and so the family will call me. You know, as a pastor yourself, that's the toughest funeral to do, because you know nothing of those people, and they're asking you to go help them through their grieving process. You know, but you do it because you love people, and so, folks, when you support the Dove, you're helping that. So call now.
Yeah, please.
And do something in appreciation of Patrick Doyle being on the air and the services that he provides and the hundreds and thousands of people that he touches. You got one more you can share before you go?
Sure. Live in the Pet, I already read that one. Yes. Here's a good one.
He's had Australia, Kenya, Portland,
Midwest,
and Miami,
but I got to tell you, this is just a sampling. There's a lot, but much of what people write to me is so personal.
Yeah,
I can't really share it.
Yeah.
Your videos are helpful. I've been married for 25 years in a dysfunctional family. I absorbed their negativity, but they managed to prevent me from having a personal life and some healthy boundaries. And now I find myself completely exhausted. I realized that they're using me as narcissistic supply, which was a term that I used in one of my shows.
Yeah.
But every time I try to get up, they're overwhelming me with negativity and I collapse. I feel trapped that I don't know what to do. Please, can you help me with some advice?
Wow. Wow. And that's from?
They didn't say.
Okay.
I don't know where they're from.
Okay.
Hopefully, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, this happens to me all the time, this level of intensity that's coming. And I'm telling you, one of the reasons why that is, Perry, is because here's the thing. When somebody gets on the computer and they start looking for stuff to find information to help them with whatever, it's completely anonymous. No one knows they're doing it. All the barriers that keep you from going to counseling or going to a church or calling a friend, all those things are erased, because all I got to do is get on there, and then I find this, and they have a conversation, or they watch a conversation between us, and it talks to what they're in, and so they can do it without exposing themselves, and it provides them some insight and some hope, and then they move forward. And these letters that people are writing, this is not easy to do. And so what it tells me is they feel a lot of safety as they watch the show, as they watch what's going on between me and you. They feel safe enough to say, here's my problem, which is why it's so popular. If somebody doesn't feel safe, they're not going to do this kind of stuff.
Well, folks, thank you for supporting the Dove, and by doing that, you're allowing Patrick to be on the air to reach thousands of people. The goal by getting in a new building is to develop more programs with Patrick and others. But if you want to see him do his own show, well, I'll have to kind of supervise it. He gets a little
You have to have that edit button.
Yeah, well, he doesn't know that I am the conscience in his life. God pointed me to watch out for him. But anyway, we'd like to see him in a platform where he can reach thousands every time he's on the air. Would you call and make a special gift towards that? The phone number is 776-5368 or online at theDove.us. 776-5368 or online at theDove.us. I know you got to get back to appointments. Thank you, pal.
You bet. Thank you. God bless you.
We'll be right back.
Dove right now at 541-776-5368 or make a secure online donation at our website at theDove.us. Again, the phone number is 541-776-5368. Thanks for your support.
Hi, I'm Daniel and I work at theDove TV. You know, compared to Portland, Seattle, and LA, Medford might be considered a small market, but at theDove, we're excited about the opportunity to make a big impact right here in our community. And you help make that happen. Did you know that more than 90% of our income comes from people like you? You can help us now by making a secure online donation at our website, theDove.us, or by phoning 541-776-5368.
Okay, we're back, and this is day one of our Spring Share-a-thon, and thank you for those of you who have been calling and coming by. It's just been so exciting, and of course, the Dove, as you know, is moving into a permanent home after 30 years of renting, and boy, are we excited. But the planning to get this job done is over the top, busy and challenging, but we're putting it all together. And over the last several weeks, many of you have been calling in and helping us buy equipment that is needed so that we can get it in place before we actually move. And we have Steve Johnson live from inside the new Dove Live Media Center, and it's not built out yet, but there he is, and we got Bruce running around the background in a chair. Look at that.
He's trying to find out just how well the chairs slide on the floor.
Yeah, that was pretty cute.
So he's doing it's actually kind of an OSHA test.
Okay. Well, listen, you're standing in the middle of the big new room.
Right.
And behind you is what? That's pretty neat.
Well, what I wanted to show, sometimes to know where you're going, you have to look at successes of the past. Yeah. And this is a success of the past. You know, we were raising money for the lighting grids. Right. And behind me is one of those, of which we have quite a few of those that will be help to kind of gird, so to speak, the whole lighting aspect when the Dove TV comes online. So we want to thank you for doing that, having it powder coated. Now we have to get it online. So that's why some of these items are so critically needed, because this has to be up and functional before we actually move in here. So that's just one of the areas right there. Oh, across on my other shoulder is the lighting area that you had talked about. I should say the electrical part of it all. Right. Where people are helping to kind of, as you've been explaining, the whole transfer of the lighting. What did you call it? The junction box concepts?
Actually what we have, Bruce is now standing by a panel over there. We have two sets of these in this building. These panels are 400 amps. Now, you electricians will know that's a lot. We have not one, but two 400 amp systems in this building. And what we asked for, stage one, was we need to hire an electrician, a professional electrician that's certified and all that, to move some of the outlets around so that when we get ready to go in, that they're properly installed. And so thank you for that. We'll have several more of those down the road, but the first one is very significant. Behind Steve is also a bunch of pallets, and those pallets are filled with cubicles. Now, these cubicles are almost brand new, and they were donated to the Dove. And they're sitting there, and sometime next week, we will be putting up those cubicles in a temporary basis to house the staff. And they're beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And there they are, all shrink-wrapped and sitting on pallets behind Steve.
Right. Anyone who's priced them, you know how expensive they are for an office type of a complex. And it's a nice thing because of the donation, as you mentioned, that we don't have to go to our listeners and viewers and say, would you help pay for this? That's already done for it, as the electrical aspect is and the lighting grid. So we appreciate your help. And I just wanted to kind of give viewers and listeners a chance to know that these are tangible items that need to be put in place. And through your support and calling the Dove at 776-5368, it's happening today.
Well, the other thing is, it's significant if you're watching Steve on the TV side, is the floor. Look at the floor. This floor is a concrete floor. It has epoxy paint on it. You couldn't ask for it. We couldn't afford to paint that floor. And there's Bruce scooting around on it back there.
He's testing it.
Yeah.
This is a kind of floor, if you're familiar with like hot rods or some of those upper class kind of hot rod shows where they have the surface painted and all the rest, that's what this is. And it's going to make it terrific for being able to use it in a workspace environment. I mean, an actual working environment to bring in sets and bring things in and out.
All right. Well, Steve, it's wonderful. And again, behind him is that little piece of tower behind you gives you a sample of, number one, what the lighting grid will look like. That particular piece is the tower that's going to hold the microwave dish outside that will connect the radio station to the broadcast tower. And you folks have already helped us do that.
Right, and the other aspects, to clarify it, the lighting grid stuff, that's not here yet, but this is for outside. Right. And so it's all of these pieces that are being accomplished, and we appreciate you supporting the Dove to make it happen.
All right, thank you, Steve. And give that guy a ticket on the chair back there for driving without a license or something, you know. All right, Steve Johnson live from our new live media center, the Dove Live Media Center, and that'll be the new home of the Dove. And we are now working hard, bringing all of the pieces together. One of the items that we need help with, now this is, see if I can explain this. We need to move the satellite dishes from here to there, and that's fairly simple. I mean, it's a big project. We can do it with a crane and a trailer and do all that. But we have to drill a hole in the ground and go down, I don't know, I'm going to say 6-8 feet, and then go up in the sky with a piece of pipe about 26 feet and brace all that and fill it full of concrete. Just to drill the hole is $1,500, and to put the first section of pipe in there. We have to do it in such a way that it doesn't mess everything up and it's environmentally correct and all of those things. Maybe you'd like to do that. If we could get 15 people here in the next 15 minutes to do $100, that hole, you'd be paying for a hole in the ground. Well, that's probably, I got to figure out another way to say that. But maybe you'd like to help us with that. 776-5368. We have some folks standing by. All three of our ladies here in the studio need to be busy. Dave, show them. Wave your hands, ladies, and say, pick up the phone, say, we want to talk to you. And there you go, 776-5368. Could you help us with that? That is a big piece of the puzzle to move the satellite. You can imagine how important that is. In fact, we can't go on the air unless we move those things. And so maybe you could help us with that. To put that footing in and to put the first piece of pipe in is $1,500. So that's one of the big pieces of the puzzle. Maybe you could help us with that, maybe $50 or $100, $500. Call us right now, 776-5368, 776-5368, and whatever the Lord, I'm looking at the total at the same time, whatever the Lord leads you to do, give us a call, 776-5368.
You can call the Dove right now at 541-776-5368 or make a secure online donation at our website at theDove.us. Again, the phone number is 541-776-5368. Thanks for your support.
Hi, I'm Paula and I work at the Dove TV. Every day we get letters and emails from people who've been encouraged, blessed, and challenged by the programs on the Dove TV. But we couldn't do it without you. Did you know that more than 90% of our income comes from people like you? You can help us continue to bring inspiration and hope to our community by making a secure online donation at our website, theDove.us, or call us at 541-776-5368.
Okay, we're back, and our guest this segment is Chris Smith, and a lot of folks know Chris and his late father, and the work that this family has done to help young people all across our area. They head up wilderness trails. And Chris, nice to have you in, bud. Good to see you.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, well, I so appreciate what you do and your family and your commitment. You do these camps now year-round?
Year-round. We have 10 different summer camps and 24 different weekend retreats from Friday to Sunday to follow up on those kids that have been to summer camp.
Wow. And how many you do handle at a time?
In our summer program, our large camps have about 50 kids at them, and then in our weekend retreats, we have about 20 kids per weekend.
Now, Wilderness Trails is one of those ministries that if the Lord has called you to be involved in, you support them first. And I mean that sincerely. This is money spent in really an impacting way. You guys have been doing this how long?
Since 1967.
Your dad started it, huh?
No, a man named Earl Best actually started it and met my father at youth adventures up in Portland.
Mm-hmm.
And my father was going to Multnomah School of the Bible and working at youth adventures, and met this guy named Earl Best who brought kids up there and wanted to bring that back to Southern Oregon. And he said, I'd like to go back and do that with you.
Wow.
So he had a wife and 3 kids at the time, and a pregnant wife, and he said, I'm headed to Southern Oregon to enroll the kids, and I'll be back to get you when the next child's born. Most of us wouldn't get away with that nowadays.
Oh, no. But out of that, you've been ministering all these years, your family has, and it's life-changing for these kids. So what happens when they come to your camp?
Well, I think that what we do is just create a loving, caring environment for kids that they're not used to that. It's a camp that is specifically designed for kids that are from at-risk situations, in foster care, and in struggling situations. And so we want to have this loving, caring environment that they're used to other people that are there with the same struggles, and share the gospel of Jesus to those kids. And you get many testimonies of kids that change their life right then, and some kids come back later and say, that just planted a seed with me, and years later I was still searching, and I kept saying, wow, that camp was really different.
And that's what happens. And I can't speak enough of the impact that Wilderness Trails have. And we are delighted to air your little feature that some of your folks come in and share what Wilderness Camp has done. I don't know how long we've been doing that, but for quite a while. And the stories are just phenomenal.
Yeah, it's a great outreach for us to partner with you guys in the community, and to get volunteers, also to get the word out there to other foster parents and different people to refer campers. And and it all takes a group of ministries here in the Valley to work. We're just blessed to live in a really great area in the United States, and we're just blessed to be involved in different ministries and different programs around here.
Well, the reason I had Chris come in, it's just one of those examples that we here at the Dove feel very much led of the Lord to do. Anytime these ministries like Wilderness Trails and other ministries need help, we want to do what we can to get the word out. We want to do what we can to support them. And I really believe, Chris, a part of our calling in this area, in the whole Christian media thing, is to support organizations like yours, to do what we can to get the word out, because the testimonies that we hear back, in fact, I know folks have heard about the Wilderness Trail outreach on the Dove from those little vignettes you have that ended up sending a friend of a friend to your camp whose life was impacted. So you never know how God connects all the dots to make this happen.
Right, yeah, there's a lot of dots to connect, and we're, as humans, we're not able to do that, but God can use everything that the community has and the different ministries to help one another. And it is very rewarding to, as you know, to hear people come back with testimony and say, that was a life-changing experience, or listening to your program at that time helped me through rough stuff.
That's wonderful.
And,
well, do you need volunteers or help in the future? What's your needs now?
Yeah, we always need volunteers in our summer program. We're kind of gearing up for summer camps coming up, and we have lots of work that needs to be done up at the camp, and so a lot of times we're looking for groups that want to take on a project or two and come up there. I have a couple of Eagle Scouts, or well, they're Boy Scouts now, but they're becoming Eagle Scouts by doing projects at the camp. So there's always lots of physical things to do at the camp itself, but there's always volunteer work that you could come and help maybe at a camp, not even necessarily work directly with the kids. You know, there's always work in the kitchen, or just visiting a camp and seeing what's going on is a
How do they get a hold of you?
How do they get a hold of you? Wilderness Trails is 772-2892, or wildernesstrails.net is our website. It has our camp schedule on there and contact information.
Well, again, thanks for what you do. Thanks for partnering with the Dove, and thanks for just being there as long as you and your family have been doing this, and with many more years to come. And by the way, if you feel led to be a part of a camping program, get a hold of Chris and his crew and get out there. So thanks, my friend.
Thanks for having us.
All right, a couple minutes left. The phone number is 776-5368. I think we can go to, are we going back out? Is Steve up there? We're going to run back out to the building, and this is what these next 3 days are about. Steve's back out there, and they're a little bit closer to, now, not too many people would get excited over electrical panel. Those of us who are in construction and build things, I'm not, but I understand what is needed to keep our operation going. Steve, you're there.
Well, yeah, and we wanted to give you an idea, once again, of what you have helped to purchase. It's a real thing, and I know you're right. It doesn't look like a whole lot, but you can tell that this is more than just some sort of an electrical junction box you have at your home. It's what we have right here, and so Bruce is standing up next to it. He's only 4'8", so you see how tall it is. No, actually, he's 6 foot tall, so you get an idea of how big this is. And actually, through the image of video, I can actually hold him in my hand. See how that works? Isn't that amazing? Right. But he's standing right next to it, and this is part of what you have helped to pay for the conversion that's needed to get the Dove TV and radio both to operate from this singular facility. So we kind of wanted to give you an inside view that no one else has ever seen.
Well, I've had a lot of engineers come out and take a look at what we're doing, and those who are engineers in our field, in broadcast engineering and IT engineering and things like that, and they look at the service panel and they go, oh my stars, this is a dream come true. We don't only have one of these, we got two of them, one on each side of the building. So it's going to make for a very, very efficient operation. And so some of the funds that you're helping us obtain is going to go to take this panel. Actually, the panel stays there, but as you can see, there's a lot of conduits going up into the ceiling and around. A lot of that has to be moved around and rearranged, and it has to be done by licensed professional electricians, and so we need your help in that area. One of them was we already raised the funds for. Actually, stage 2, I do know what stage 2, if you want to help us with that. Stage 2 is about $11,000 in moving stuff around, and that's after we get in and then build a wall, and then we have to equip the wall. And that electrical phase is about 11 grand. So if you want to help us with that, look, I can give you items all day long. We just need for you to pray about what the Lord would have you to do. And Steve, you're kind of in the area where your favorite place of the new building is going to be. Yes, it's actually off to the side. You can't see it right now. It's where the coffee part will be. Let's see if I can move things around. Oh, Bruce is already kind of putting out some feelers for where he wants to. The kitchen. Of course, that's the most important part, or at least one of the very most important parts. When you have guests, you have to give them a cup of coffee, that kind of thing. Bruce may has found his calling to be a silent Vanna White. I think so. We'll keep him away from the electrical box and let him fiddle around in the kitchen. He needs to move his arms out a little more, Yeah, there you go. That's right. Show us the wonderful microwave. And there you go. The Palmolive soap. It's an amazing place. Yeah, okay. Thanks, guys. Thanks. God bless. All right, there they are live. And that's going to be the new home of the Dove. And over the next several weeks, a lot of the items that you helped us with, we're going to start putting in there. And then slowly but surely, we're working towards the big day when the move is going to occur. Everybody said, when that is? I don't know. It'll happen when it happens. It's just a lot of work. All right, let me give you a little total. About 3 weeks ago, we started this, asking you for your help, and our goal was $125,000. As of today, we're down to $85,000 to go between now and Thursday. And however the Lord leads you to help us, give us a call. We got about a minute left. I'd love to see our three ladies get busy. Maybe you could do $25, a one-time gift, or $100. Maybe you could help us towards that hole in the ground. That's a $1,500 hole we got to put in the ground. We're going to fill it full of concrete, but it got to go down first. Maybe you can help us with that. Pray about it and call us right now. Here's the number, 541-776-5368, or online at theDove.us. Right at the top of the page, you'll see a button that says Help Move the Dove. Click on that, and you can support us online. It's totally safe and secure. But we'd love to hear from you. We'd like to talk to you on the phone. And when you call, let us know what your favorite program is on the Dove Radio and on the Dove TV. Will you call now? 776-5368. 776-5368. I'd rather have them on the phone than waving their hand. 776-5368. All right? stick around. We got a lot of great programming. We'll be talking to you throughout the day. 776-5368.
Hi, I'm Jim, and I work at theDove TV. Every weekday between 6 and 8 a.m., our award-winning news and sports team bring you the best morning show around. It's live, it's honest, and it's a whole lot of fun. And you help make it happen. Did you know that more than 90% of our income comes from people like you? You can help us continue to air local programs that share your voice by making a secure online donation at our website, thedove.us.